Hi, my name is Vishwa Shivakumar. My metric number is 25DDT19F1065, and today I'm going to present about practical task 3. The subject is scaling network. There are four parts in this packet tracer. The part 1 is design and build network. Part 2, configure basic config. And part 3, configure multi-area OSPF. And the last part is test configuration. Okay, let's see our this is my logic diagram. The PC1 connected to the router 1 R1, and this is the R2. This was connected to the router 1 and router 3, and here the PC2, and this is R3. This connected to the PC3, and this was public. This and public. This was a private IP. Okay. Uh, okay, there are three PCs here. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is the physical diagram. There's a connection between PC to router 3, and this is the connection between PC to router 1, and this is connection between PC to R2, and this one is the connection between the routers R3, R1, and R2. Okay, this is my addressing table, IPv4 and IPv6. Okay, the IPv4 and the interfaces and IPv4 addresses, and this is the subnet mask. The PC1, PC2, PC3 was configured to DHCP, and the IPv6 interfaces are same with the devices, and we have the IPv6 address for each of the devices, and the following is a link local for the devices, all the devices. So this is the part 1. Let's go to our part 2. Okay, the second part is basic configuration and DHCP and remote access, secure remote access. Okay, we use router 1. Okay, we have to insert our password. You can see here the banner MOTD. Uh, the password is class enable, and the second password is cscope. Okay, we see the SSH at the show run. Okay, the host name I changed to the R1, and I enable the password. This is the DHP command, and you can see the network here and the default router. um, the no IP domain lookup is the SSH and basic configuration commands. Uh, the reason why I put the inside the command was it's speed up the access to will deliver the message that we type or insert an incorrect comment or error. So this comment will help us to find out the error faster. The loading process was fast when we insert this comment, and the interface G0/0, the IP address is the IPv6 address, and this is the link local, and the interface 00 G0/1. No, in the R1 you can see here the R1 interface G0/0 and S0/0/0 only. So the interface serial 0/0/0, the IP address, and the link local, and the IPv6 address. And the interface serial 0/0/1, no IP address. And the banner MOTD, just now I showed to you before I enter the password. This is the basic configuration. The no IP domain lookup is very important command. We should inside the command. It will helps to faster the loading process when we insert the wrong command. Then okay, then the line console 0 and the password insert, login synchronous and login, and line VTY04 and the password insert, login local, and transport input SSH. And this is the SSH. Now we see about the DHCP. The command is show IP DHCP code. Okay, as you can, just now I showed to you the name of the DHCP, and the utilization mark was high 100 and no subnet size, and the total addresses is 62, and no list addresses is 1 and 0 addresses excluded, and the pending event is none, and one subnet is currently in the pool, and you can see the default router here and the IP range. So this is the DHCP, and then we see the interface brief. So IP interface brief. As you can see here the interface, the G Ethernet 0/0 and the serial 0/0/0 was configured, and you can see the IP addresses here. These are the IP address of the interfaces, and then show you the IP route. Just IP route. You can see the IP address was directly connected, interface serial 0/0/0 and G0/0 also connected. I have configured gateway. The OSPF we will see in the next part. Before that, we see the IPv6 brief. So IPv6 brief. Uh, Sorry, the comment was incorrect. Okay, this is the comment. So IPv6 interface brief, and you can see the G0/0 and the link local and the IPv6 address and the interface serial 0/0/0, the link local and IPv6 address. Okay, and then we see the IPv6 root. Okay, here also you can see the IPv6 routing table. This is the IPv6 address, and it's connected via directly connected via the G0/0, and this was received, and the IPv6 address was directly connected via serial interface serial 0/0, and this is was received, and the followings. Okay, that's all for the part 2. Now we see the now we move to part 3. Okay, the part 3 we can continue with the R1. The part 3 is configure multi-area OSPF. The command is show IP OSPF neighbor. Here's the short detail of the OSPF neighbor. The neighbor ID is 2.2.2.2, and the date time and the address and interface 0/0/0. Okay, if you want to see what more, the command is show IP OSPF interface. Okay, you can see the more details about the OSPF. This is OSPF v2. Whereas the second one is a v3. Later part we see about the v3. The OSPF v2 is represent the IPv4, and OSPF v3 is representing the IPv6. And now you can see here OSPF more details, the line protocol, internet address, and area 0. And here is the serial interface serial 0/0 area 0. And the network type broadcast is of 1, and the router ID 1.1.1.1, and the neighbor count and the adjacent neighbor count is 0. And here is the neighbor count is 1 and adjacent neighbor count is also 1, and the adjacent with neighbor is 2.2.2.2. And if you want to see the area 2, we can see at the R3, because this is the area 1 and this is area 0 and this is the area 2. So you can see here G0/0 line is up internet address in the area 2. And we continue this. The next one, we move to the OSPF v3. Same comment little bit. So IPv6 OSPF neighbor. Here is the short details. The neighbor ID 2.2.2.2 and the interface ID and the interface serial 0/0/0. If you want to see more details about the IPv6 OSPF, same command like this and insert the interface. Okay, there are more details about OSPF IPv6. The gigabyte 0/0 line protocol is up. Line local address here, you can see it, and the router ID and designated router ID and the local address. And then the serial interface serial 0/0/0 is up. The line protocol is up. The interface ID and the link address and the area is 0. The and then we see about the adjacent with neighbor 2.2.2.2 and the adjacent neighbor and neighbor count is 1. And we have to see the configurations. You can see at the show run. Here we have all the basic configurations that we have configured. you can see here the password I enabled. Okay, the DHP pool command and the network and default router, and then the no IP domain lookup, the name cnsecurity.com, then the SSH version 2. Then you can see here the interface G0/0 and the IP address, then the link local and the IPv6 address, which is area 1. The interface serial 0/0/0 and the IP address with the link local and also the IPv6 address with area 0. The clock read also you can see here. I have inserted and I have configured, and the OSPF. This is the router ID and the network. I have configured the adjacency changes and the banner MOTD, the line console, VTY. So these are the basic configuration and DSP, OSPF, and secure remote access. So let's move to the next part. So the last part is test configuration, basic configuration, multi-area OSPF, and communicate with workstation. So here you can see the config. I changed to static and switch again to the DHCP, requesting IP address, and it's successful for PC1. And we see the PC to PC2, switch to static and DHCP, requesting IDX address, and it's successful. We try this to the PC3, static DHCP, successful. Okay, and now we're going to ping all the IPv4 and the IPv6 in the PC1. Okay, let's ping the first one. We're getting the reply. It's successful. And ping is getting the reply, and it's successful too. Ping, try this, and successful too. And try this. Ping, paste. And successfully ping, and we try this. Successfully pinged, paste, Typing the IPv6. This was also successful. This F1 error, I fix it later. Okay, repeating this. Getting the replay. Okay, it's successful too. Repeating this. Okay, everything successfully done. And this. Okay, it was successful too. Try the SSH admin, and I try this IP. The password is main. Okay, you can see the warning authorized user only. Okay, exit. Okay, that's all for the last part, test configuration, and thank you so much.